motherfuckers up in New York for like 2 weeks now, scouting out their shit. So I'm gonna go over their stuff. Some of this I know like the back of my hand. Some of it, some motherfucker handed me a piece of paper yesterday and it's got some folks in it or something. So we're gonna go through these. I want you to consider them, consider how important they are, and I will leave these out. And if you look through these and have very important questions about what we're looking for, that would be awesome, because we need to figure that shit out by tomorrow. So, first up is some shit in Russian, I guess. And it basically is foreign for we steal art. And it is an underground complex full of stolen art. They've got art that they stole from Europe, stole from New York, stole from Philly, stole from all over the place, worth millions of dollars. And they've got it in this underground complex. And we're pretty sure it's a bunch of Sedites and a bunch of Knots doing this shit, especially since they're selling jars full of vampire hearts. So outside you have a security room, which has a bunch of precautions. Then there's the gallery, which has all the art. There is a money room, which is just full of money, and there's this duck in a suit that just jumps into a pool of gold coins. The storage closet, I think, has guns or some shit. This is really hard to flip through gloves on. And there's an office upstairs, which is where the big honcho is going to be hanging out. Motherfuckers don't speak while I'm speaking. Thank you. There's an office upstairs where the big honcho is going to be hanging out, conveniently on the day we're showing up. So we're going to kill the shit out of them. And also the seneschal was there talking to a bunch of Sedites while we were there. So that's one. Was anyone else in the art place? You were in the art place? No. Question.
Why are they taking art?
So they can sell it for money.
That's what Scrooge McDuck wants them to do.
And they're selling the vampire cards as a side business to this?
I mean,
so they don't seem to overlap, that's all I'm wondering.
Yeah, people sell shit to get leverage on folks. What?
How big was the duck?
I was joking about the duck. It is literally just a room full of money.
Oh, okay.
Does it clap?
Alright. Anyway, okay. Moving on. It's the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, because I don't have this shit in order. Alright. So, the Chantry is just a red brick building in like Harlem or some shit. It was supposed to get demolished years ago, but it didn't, and it's just hanging out there. What? Okay. So you have the Great Hall, which has a bunch of ghouls that are saying the Giovanni are totally going to show up when we do. There is a side room that's got some taxidermy birds. For some reason, the Tremere really fucking love birds. There's a library just full of books from end to end. And there's a sanctum which is warded to shit and we can't possibly see until the day of the Crusade. So that should be fun. And who was at the Chantry? Alright, important shit you want to tell me about the Chantry?
Two ghouls, at least 4 vampires, presumably all Tremere that tend to hang out at the sanctum. We've not been able to penetrate in any way, shape, or form. And as you said, they're expecting a meeting with Giovanni sometime around the same time that we will be attacking you, so they will have that support as well.
Okay. Next, we have Gamboni's Restaurant. So, Gamboni's Restaurant is your stereotypical Italian restaurant in New York City. It's got a whole bunch of big wigs that come in and out of there, like football players and random senators and shit like that. It is clearly a front for the Giovanni, and the Giovanni roll through it around 5 a.m. every day. In the kitchen, there are a whole bunch of cooks and dishwashers that carry automatic pistols at all times. There's a private dining area where a whole bunch of mobsters hang out, including a bunch of people with the last name Giovanni or Puttanesca. There is cold storage, which is full of zombies and wraiths. And also the whole place is fucking infested with wraiths. The wraiths are the big scary ghost things that hurt you. So yeah, that's going to be like necromancy and shit up the ass when we take that place. Any Gambonis?
Oh no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Who was at Gamboni's? Anything else I didn't cover?
You covered pretty much all of it. There's 4 significantly powerful wraiths and an additional 4 zombies that they've been beefing up in cold storage. The private dining seems to be where all of the business transactions happen, and the Giovanni carry significantly powerful wraiths with them there as well. There appears to be some form of issue between the Giovanni and I believe the Seneschal, implying a disgruntled issue that the Giovanni are having with the Camarilla. But we couldn't get close enough to figure out what that was without tipping our hand.
Yeah, that's the funny part of doing this recon. When we're killing these dudes, we forget they also have their own lifetime stories that we ignore. Yeah. Alright. What's up?
Quick question. Between last area and this area, we're talking about the Giovanni helping attack the Chantry, but we're talking about this being...
The Giovanni and the Tremere are apparently working, at least doing deals at the Chantry.
So we're expecting to fight both of them.
We're fighting all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, no,
all
it sounded
these
like they were helping us for some reason. I was very confused.
There are zombies at the Chantry for whatever reason. Yes.
Well, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any particular necessity for subtlety in dealing with any of these locations?
On the day of, no.
Yes.
Well, subtlety among the mortals, but...
Keep in mind that while we're doing this, if we burn New York to the ground or we rip the Silence of the Blood in half, New York will be useless to all of us, not just them. So, applying subtlety and dealing with, we don't want to have supernatural fights in the middle of the street without anything to cover it, bad. Is there a need for subtlety when you're in the private dining area and it's just you and 4 Giovanni and a couple of ghosts? Go wild.
Yeah, so as Gavin, Templar to Notorious BDG in the West said, we are not the Taliban, and we need to actually keep this city. So when we show up, we are not burning it to the ground. So we can kill the shit out of these dudes while we're here, but we need to hand back a working city that His Eminence will actually want to take over.
Gavin is a picture-perfect example of subtlety.
Yeah. Alright, so next we have Griffin Holdings. I'm gonna leave that shit alone, okay? So, Griffin Holdings is a super fancy high-rise building of which these motherfuckers have control of 4 floors of it. In New York, not even the fucking Ventru hold a whole skyscraper. So, the opening floors are like opening areas and greeting areas. The 29th floor is an antechamber full of fucking bodyguards. There's like 20 or so ghouls there, maybe 50 depending on the day. The 30th floor is entertainment space, which apparently has transvestite naughty nuns right now. I don't really know why. I didn't really ask. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of Ventru there. We did find out, while we were searching the place, we heard a phone call from the Prince, where he is going to be having a meeting on the day of the Crusade. And he will be having that meeting at the Asylum, which is run by the Melks. There's a whole lot of really creepy shit going on in the Asylum, including like zombies getting BJs and dudes in fern bushes just fucking hanging out. It's pretty creepy. Overall, most likely he's going to be having that meeting in the observatory. Who was at the Asylum? Were you talking about the observatory?
Yeah, quick question though before we get too far in. Do you know who he's supposed to be meeting with? Because then I can tell you exactly where to go.
I think he's meeting with the Primogen or something. It was just the Malkavians is what I got.
Okay, because the observatory is where it looks like the most interesting person is, and right now somebody's manipulating him to thinking that he's talking to an angel. So there's no place good to land if you were trying to land as gargoyles do on the roof without being seen. So it looks like either you fight your way up because nobody's coming back down the way everything locks up, or you just do a smash and grab and take out the people at the top and leave the rest of the building alone. Don't go to the basement, there's no need. It's just going to be a fight, but everybody's going to hang out and wait for you until you want to go down. So just don't go down until everything else is clear.
Yeah, if you want to go down into the twisty, creepy maze full of pain, you can do that after we've taken the rest of the targets. I guess someone has to do that at some point, but it's not a high priority.
Well, there's a really old lady that may or may not be friendly, but she's fully insane and she's got a pet gangrel. So you just don't want to piss off either of them until we can have a conversation or something.
Okay. And last is Failford Park, which doesn't have a floor plan because it's a fucking park. The main thing for Failfried Park is that it's a really shitty park. It's that like super ghetto park where you do drug deals and pick up prostitutes. Apparently the Setites control the place and maybe one really bad gangrel. I'm just going with bad gangrel as his name. He hangs out in the cave. He's got really gnarly hair. Yeah, that's what I got. Who is at the park? What do you want to tell me about the park?
There are hobos selling drugs and prostitutes and Setites and the wolf.
Bad Gangrel. That's what I'm going with. His name's Bad Gangrel.
Bad Gangrel. And the wolf was upset with one of the vampires were like glaring at the wolf and the wolf was like unhappy or something. There's some shit going on with the wolf and the other vampires.
I'm just joking. I have no idea what the wolf is. It might be a werewolf. It might be a fucking vampire from Africa. I have no idea. It's something. We'll find out.
It's Quasian.
I don't think it is. God. So that is it for my PowerPoint presentation. If there are any overall questions, I will leave this packet full of info out. Yes.
I noticed that the asylum is in the Manhattan area. Are there any broader geographic idea of what bureaus will have to be dealing with?
There is a map that has little pinpoints where all these locations are, which I did not put in my PowerPoint because I forgot it existed. But we do have the map. I'm pretty sure all of them are in like the Manhattan area.
That's what I was gonna say. I think Harlem was in.
Yeah. So when I said Harlem, I was full of shit. It's in
Harlem
Manhattan.
is in Manhattan.
Harlem is Manhattan. All right.
I don't know why I know that.
So yeah, I will leave this shit out. Feel free to peruse it and tell me if you have questions you think should be asked. And we'll go over that. But regardless, everyone should fucking come to New York with me to kill some motherfucking campfires so we can prune our dark tree.
Praise King!
Praise King!